Yeah, Nick the Graff, thriving with type 1 bipolar disorder whilst raising awareness for mental health in all generations through MAWS groups. A published author for children's coloring books, surf, body, and skateboard trainer who uses all the money raised to help as many more as he can in this lifetime. He continues to do his inner work, and I know that because of the conversations we've had leading up to this Creating Kinder content series. And the one thing that resonates with me the most is our shared belief on everyone having a neutral setting of being kind if only we taught ourselves how to feel every single emotion. Nick, I love that. Thank you so much for being with us on the Creating Kinder content series. And I can't wait for you to introduce yourself to my audience in 3 words that you think best describe yourself. The stage is all yours.
Oh, 3 words. That narrows it down. I guess would be kind, compassionate, and enthusiastic would probably define me as best I can in those 3 words.
Very, very kind to yourself. I like those words. Would you also like to expand on whether these words were given to you by someone in your childhood? Are these a memory, or are these something that you've established or learned about yourself over these years?
I think it's a learnt behavior for me. I feel as long as I'm always putting my best foot forward, then I only can wish for the same best foot forward in return. And if it doesn't, then I still just got to keep trying. I don't want to turn into a person of not putting my best foot forward. So
I love
yeah,
that. And why would you say that? Is there an experience where you've ever felt that someone on the other end could be kinder, or it couldn't have, like you weren't asking for too much, but they just changed how you think right now and has brought you to this place. Would you like to share one of those experiences with us?
yeah. I guess I feel that probably from my experiences growing up with friends through school and stuff like that, witnessing bullying or seeing bullying being taken place throughout the school as growing up, you can really see the emotional impact on each student from a group setting of bullying. You know, if someone's been set aside from the rest of the group and a whole group bullies that individual, that can make that person's, I guess, soul in a sense, or who they are, just feel very, very small. So I just always saw that as from always looking and observing from the outside in, and just seeing that and going, that would that would be really impactful on that individual in a negative way. So I just always tried to see myself as not going down that path, and just trying to stay true to my values and what I believe in, and be accountable for that and own that in a sense. So I thought, if I do wrong by that, I'm only doing wrong by myself. So yeah, it's just a way I view things, I guess.
Nick, that is I really I have to applaud you for that, and I'm really, really sorry on behalf of all those bullies who are probably watching you right now and feeling like really, really bad for putting you through that. But I think it's such an important lesson for a young kid growing up, to come back to themselves and constantly remind themselves of who they are as opposed to what the world wants them to see themselves as. And I think that's a lot of inner work at a very young age. Is there somebody you'd like to credit, or is there somebody who impacted you to think this way, or is this just you
Yeah,
were born
definitely.
born this way?
Yeah, no, I definitely have. I call them my spirit parents in a sense. They're the ones, because I started my own business and work when I was 11 years old as a dog walker, and because I wasn't allowed a dog, and I always thought that a dog can be such an empathetic kind of connection to have as a support, and I felt like I always needed that. And when I wasn't allowed that, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to open up my own business to walk dogs then, because then I would have the opportunity to get that, I guess, I don't know, comfort from an animal, So I started my own dog walking business, and I had a phone call for my first client, Marianne, and then her husband Corey. So I walked their dogs for years, and I always went to their house in time of comfort and need, and they always supported me, and I guess influenced more of that kindness and staying true to who I am kind of direction. So yeah, definitely have them to thank.
Wow, no, that is brilliant, and I think when you bring up the fact that as you were growing up, and like I said in my intro, with type one bipolar disorder, it obviously started with not even being able to recognize what was happening. But I think dogs, like you said, animals, great learning, very underrated. Really grateful for you for bringing this up, because I genuinely prefer dogs over humans myself. Some humans are nice, but I
Yeah.
think because you've spent so much more time with them and you've obviously learned so much right at a young age, is there anything that you think that animals could probably teach us human beings, things that we already know but are unlearning as we grow up to incorporate in our daily lives, so we could just be kinder to each other, and what that impact could
Yeah.
probably look like?
I think I've definitely been learning, I guess from my own dog now, being, married and having a mortgage and a son, and, taking your dog out for a walk when you're limited on time, and you desperately just sometimes just want to pull the dog away from the smell. I feel like dogs are there also to teach us grounding techniques in a sense, and reconsider patience. So when that dog is taking you for that walk and taking you on several sniffs in that walk, if you can just sit there for that, it literally takes 1 minute of that sniff for that dog to have that bit of peace, and then you can just allow that and just have that time to just relax, and then you're getting more out of the walk as well. So I'm just kind of, I guess, only becoming aware of that myself now, and just going, yeah, you know what, maybe I need this longer walk. Take as many sniffs as you want. So I don't know. I gotta try and always flip a negative into a positive. So if a dog's trying to pull you so many times or sniff so many times, and you got limited time, I just try to flip it and just say maybe it's a technique for it to teach me patience and grounding again. So I just always try and mentally flip the coin of positive to negative, really.
Yeah. So you're doing your inner work, like I said, again, going back to the intro, but also, like, you're right. Like, I think one of the things that I'm drawing out of this experience is that it also teaches us how to compromise. And I think it's a very, very underrated human trait, but we compromise every single day for every single thing, right? We're
Yeah.
compromising on the food we all share from nature, or the planet that we walk on, or we're waiting for tables in restaurants, or waiting for the fuel at the gas station. We're always compromising, but when it comes to relationships or things that matter the most to us, our first suffocation that comes in from the inside is, I don't want to compromise my honest self. And you're like, but you do it every day for people that don't even matter to you, or like things that you take for granted. But I think that's what the dog is also teaching you, how to compromise
Yeah,
something that
yeah.
you strongly agree on
Yeah,
for
definitely.
this person. That, yeah, like, I think that's great. So there's lots of learning there, but thank you for sharing that. And is
Yeah,
there,
no
there
worries.
ever been a moment with your dog where you felt like you were unheard, or not feeling seen, or feeling completely bogged down, but just the presence? Or was there any, like, is there a moment that has always stayed with you where it takes you back to, I want that dog moment back?
Yeah, I remember I was quite sick at one point, and I was laying on my couch, and I remember my dog leaving its bed and then jumping up and laying its paws across my chest and just putting my head on my chest.
Oh my God,
And
I would have met.
it just laid there for ages. And I was like, I need to tell my wife to make sure she takes a photo of this moment. But it was so nice. So I just remember that. And my dog still just jumps up kind of half on my lap, because he knows he's not allowed on the couch. So he just kind of half hugs me when I'm sitting on the couch. It's nice,
Compromise we all make.
Yeah, exactly. See, he's compromising. He knows his boundaries, and but he's willing to always give the endless compassionate love kind of thing. So,
that is beautiful. And I think this whole, like, not that I was expecting the dog story, but I think there's just so much that the human beings, like we mentioned earlier, forget as we grow up. But like helping you with overcoming one of your biggest obstacles, if that is what it is, or like in your own journey of working on yourself and being this amazing kind human that you are, because I see you constantly looking out for the brighter light, and I think that's something that we should be very, very proud of. So yeah, just
yeah,
sharing that. But also, like, you've been surfboard training, bodyboard training. You've obviously seen people coming in extremely scared or nervous, or like, I don't know,
yeah,
jittery. What do you
yeah.
share with them, and what is your moment of like passing on the kindness coin?
I,
What do you do?
well, I think I get because I do skateboard coaching too, and I think the emphasis the model behind skateboard surfing and bodyboarding training is to expose yourself to the fear through confidence. So the individual knows that their confidence is boosted when I'm right there, either holding their hands down the skate ramp or swimming right next to them when a huge wave is about to dump on us. So I always reassure them to say, look, you're in safe hands. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. I just want you to address the fear, because at the end of the day, that's our model to face all through aspects of life. Everything that feels uncomfortable is what allows us to grow as individuals anyway. So as I was growing up, I always expose myself to as much fear as possible. Because it gives me that adrenaline, which is that rush, and it gives me that confidence to know that I can push past fear in several circumstances and then in an area to grow. So I just kind of teach that through to the kids, and I give them a 10 finger model, which is like, hey, you can hold 10 of my fingers, so two hands, and we can go down this round together. And then once you feel a little bit more confident, you can select how many fingers you want to hold. So they're in charge of their own confidence. They're in charge of facing their own fear, but they know that they're not going to fall, because at the end of the day, if they do a body hopper, which is they don't hold any of my fingers and they go down the skate ramp by themselves, I'm going to wrap my arms around them in a bit of a distance away from their body. So if they do fall, they're going to only fall into my arms. I'm just going to pick them up. So that just slowly, it's like slow little runs on a ladder to achieve their goal. And that's how I want them to view life, and in an aspect of achieving goals is go, all right, I might just have to have 10 fingers at the start of this goal, but I know I'll be able to go down go down life or go down the ramp on my own.
Wow, that is a very kind teacher. I'd like to I'd like to sign up, please. But do you reckon when you're kind towards other people, and these are all strangers, and then they become a part of your life, but from your own experience, do you think being kind towards other people affects your own well-being and happiness, or is there anything else that you draw from just being kind to other people? Does it help you as well?
um, I think it helps me when I see the model being taught again. So it's like, if I can present my best foot and being kind in a sense and showing kindness, if they choose to show kindness, that's great. That's that that lifts me up. I mean, I remember having a few new students start, and one of the girls who have been learning through my skateboarding just said it's okay to the new student, because they were a bit nervous. And they're like, it's okay, just hold his fingers if you have to. It's just a matter of building your confidence. And the girl was saying, I've had a few lessons, so my confidence is a lot higher than yours. And so it's just all that reassurance, and then that just fills my cup, because at the end of the day, all I can do is show them the model, show them what way is going to benefit, and then if they choose to take that on, and choose to teach it, then it just creates kinder outcomes.
So
Yeah.
is it safe for me to say or summarize that showing faith in somebody who's trying to help you learn a new skill is also an act of kindness? Is that right? Like just
Yeah,
surrendering?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an act of kindness, and I see it at the skate parks occasionally when someone's trying to learn maybe a jump on a bike, and some of the older kids are saying, "Hey, look, don't press on the brakes when you land because it's going to damage your brakes," or just little bits of input that you have from more experienced people that have gone down the path and gone, hey, yeah, that ruined my bike, so I'm going to teach you not to do it so it doesn't ruin your bike. That's just a
Yeah.
simple act of kindness that can just transform or go a long way, and then yeah, it just carries on, and hopefully that kid that learned that lesson passes it on to the next kid.
Lovely. I'm going to have to now jump over to landing very safely onto my next round, which is just quick questions where I don't want you to think too much because I want them to be right from the happy parts. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah,
to
no
ask you.
worries.
My first question is, do you have a favorite go-to kindness quote or motto that inspires you or you live by?
Turn the fear of the unknown into the excitement of the potential.
I like that. You were prepared. Oh, I'm going to make this harder. If
That's my
kindness,
favorite quote.
oh, so that was easy. If kindness had a color, what color would it be and why?
Blue, because when you see the sky blue, it's happy times.
Wow, nice. I like that. All right. And if kindness was a sound, what sound would it make and why?
Waves crashing because
Ah,
that because waves crashing can be so therapeutic, and therapeutic's kind.
right. So you're a nature person. Like,
Very, very much nature person,
okay.
yeah.
All right. I would never have guessed.
No,
Right.
not with the sky and the ocean.
Now, if you were given the powers to turn one day across the world into a kindness day, what would you call it, and what would you expect to make people do to celebrate the spirit of kindness?
Well, it'd be a wellness day, and the spirit of kindness would be for those individuals that enjoy their type of wellness, whether it'll be a walk, whether it'll be watching a movie, then that individual has to take someone that's not that's either down emotionally or needing a bit of help. That person needs to take that person to their wellness day. So then effectively everyone's helping each other.
Amazing. So it's like a turnaround. That is great. Now, if I gave you two options, would you rather have the ability to make people instantly burst into laughter or instantly feel loved and cared for? Which one would you pick?
Loved and cared for, I think. Yeah.
No, that loved and cared for, because there's laughter
Yeah.
and then there's loved and cared for.
Oh,
You
loved
just
and cared.
combine both of them.
Oh, sorry. So there's loved and cared for. So there's three options, hey?
There's laughter, so you have the ability to make someone burst into laughter, or then there is
Yeah.
the ability to make someone feel genuinely loved and cared for.
Ability to generally feel loved and cared for
Why?
sure.
Why?
Why? Because that is your inner power. If you feel loved and cared for, you can conquer everything that you put your mind to.
I like that. And since you've spoken about the inner power, my next question is, if kindness was a superpower, what superpower would you want for yourself?
If kindness was a superpower, what power would I want for myself? Or I'd want I'd I'd want the ability to communicate with all types of animals. That would be a huge power.
Would you also want to hear them back? Like communicate both ways, right? Like
Yeah, definitely communicate both ways. So then you could get an understanding of what needs to be done from all aspects.
Right. I like that. And this is not on my list, but just because of our conversation, I wanted to know, what do you think is the most underrated act of kindness that you've ever experienced?
Most underrated act of kindness that I've experienced has got to be when personally, from my experience, is when someone's paid for my coffee when I've been in line for a drive-through coffee. That's
That is
only
lovely.
yeah.
I could sign up for that. I think
So
that's
good.
borderline greedy, but sure, I'll sign up for it. Like, no,
No, it
that is
happened to
great.
me. It happened to me, and I just remember just going, "Man, that felt awesome. I'd love to do the same back."
Yeah, I wish there were more people who did that. If anybody's listening, please sign up. One of my last questions for you on this round would be, if kindness was a piece of food, what would it taste like, or what cuisine would it be and why?
I reckon it's got to be a good apple. I don't know. I just love the taste and the crunch and sweetness of an apple. So I just throw it as that.
Is there a color for this apple? Are you going for New Zealand golden or pink
No,
lady or
I
just
don't
any?
know. Like there's yeah, I've got because I grow my own fruit trees as well, and I just wait until the apples ripe enough, and how long that takes. And I think just being able to taste it is kindness from the tree and kindness as chewing an apple. Yes.
Lovely. I like that. I like that. I think it's a fresh, nice, fruity, environmentally friendly, sustainable thought. I like it. Thanks for sharing that. Well, Nick, I think this has been
Yeah,
great.
nice.
And I am obviously extremely conscious of this energy that you work on for yourself and the exchange that we've had. And I obviously don't want to leave you feel depleted. So if there was any
Oh no.
question that you would like to ask me in turn, now is your chance to either ask me any of the questions that I've asked you, or you could make up something on your own.
Okay. What's the kindest thing that's ever happened to you that you remember?
Um, I think the universe has been very kind to me, but I think for me, like, one of the kindest things that my parents have ever done for me, because I come from a country where we're always stuck in that narrative of the girl child is the girl child, and there are like boundaries, etc. But
Yeah.
I think one of the kindest things my parents have ever bestowed on me is the fact that they've raised me as a man, even though I'm a girl, and so I know the best of both worlds, and
Nice.
I celebrate being me, because I know what a guy would do in my situation and what a girl would do in my situation, and then I take my next move forward
That's so
depending
good.
on the situation. Yes, it kind of makes me feel very empowered every day, and I think that's a really good job, parents.
Yeah, great job, parents, indeed. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for this. So is there any parting words for our audience that is listening, for all that you do? Of course, I'm going to put down everything about your book and for where to find you to learn these skateboard, surf and bodyboarding experiences. But Nick, is there anything that you'd like to leave my audience with about why kindness could be a great idea?
Because, yeah, I guess the kindness will be a great idea is because it leaves the individual that you've been kind to a happier, nourished person. So why can't we all just do that?
I agree. I surrender. This is great. Thank you so much for doing this on creating kinder content, and we can't wait for our audience to experience this.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.